another episode of Three Ways to Say It. I'm your host, the one and only Todd Carter.
I am Ashley.
And what's goody is Casey.
Today, we will be talking about, do you go 50-50? When you're in a marriage or a relationship, how do you pay the bills? Gabrielle Union been trending in the news for saying that she had scarcity. So that's what we're going to talk about. What do y'all think about it?
You mean what she said or what we think about 50-50 in general?
First. Yeah, let's talk about what she said. It seems as if she said that she have a hard time with like controlling, I guess, her anxiety about centered around whether or not she have enough money to take care of other things or other people. So I think she's kind of feeling the weight of other family members. Is the reason why she feel that she needs to go 50-50 to make sure she got some. I know that she's been on a couple of podcasts talking about it. She called it, one article said it was like anxiety, that, you know, she gets nervous when it's anything centered around finances. So
I'm gonna talk about her first. I'm not gonna talk about my own personal. But with her, I don't think women in general should feel like an anxiety on they have enough money. I don't think anybody should really have the anxiety if you have enough money to be with somebody, because I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but it's really not the most important part. But you did say it's stand for family and stuff, so I get it. Especially with her being famous, of course, family gonna talk, people around her. She's seeing what other relationships go like. So, and also she wanna, I guess, as we see, I will always say when I see Gabrielle Union, I don't see her as like all the way feminine. I see her had this masculine side too. So I think her making sure that she's fulfilling both sides makes her decide like, okay, yeah, I got this feminine side, but you know, that masculine side of her, like, okay, I still gotta help. I still gotta, take care of something. So I guess I can understand where she get excited from. I don't feel like she should feel like, she's obligated to have or do anything. But that's all I say about Gabrielle Union.
I guess I just didn't think about how do celebrities or people with a lot of money split the bills, because I would think that his income and what he has should be able to take care of it. But then again, I guess when you live in such a fabulous lifestyle like theirs, it may just take both of their incomes to maintain the lifestyle that they have created together. Whereas when he by himself, he's fully aware, he's fully able to take care of all of that. And not saying that he can't now, because I'm sure he has enough basketball money to both of them. So it could just be one of those things where she just still in that poor mindset, just feel or don't want to ever get back there, so.
Well, I think, honestly, I think that she isn't technically going 50-50, like how we thinking. Like, the mortgage dude, like, hey, you got your half? And she like, I got it, not any of that or whatever. But also she stated that they're taking care of other, households as well. So that's a whole nother thing. I don't know. I just honestly didn't like the conversation around it. I don't like when, certain people with certain incomes have average, like I say, conversations about what goes on in the household or how they spend the bills. It's just almost cringe for me. I don't know. I feel like she didn't really want to say it. It just came out. And I also do think by her paying 50-50, it's kind of like she just wants her name on something, like just in case something does go wrong, you can't put me out, or this my stuff, or so I don't know, like you said, she always kind of gave me that energy anyway, and plus she's a Scorpio, October 29th, so I'm trying to think like her. So That's the only thing I could think of. You just wanting your name on something, make sure you.
And I can say that too. I kind of do see her as being like, if she was on her own, she would be good. She do give me the vibe of like somebody who makes sure they're good regardless. I don't see her as being one of those women where she went into, he got money, but I think she genuinely just liked him. I don't think it was like she got with him because he had money.
Oh,
I think, of course and of course she like a actress and stuff anyway. So of
Mm-hmm.
course she might not have as much money as he had, but of course she had her own.
Yeah.
And I do think that she took, take accountability of the money that she do have. And I think that maybe that's part of it. Like she feel like she got to go 50-50 because she know for sure she can handle it. She can handle it. It's not
Right.
like where she feel like she got into something which, a lot of people really get with people because they got money. I don't see that in their relationship. Imagine I'm not in it, but I don't see that. I don't see her being somebody who needs him, I feel like they are good together. I don't see it like she got with him because he had money or because he was a basketball player. I think they just end up with each other. As you see, they are like a almost perfect match. So yeah.
I agree.
What's y'all view on that then? I know that you haven't been married, so you probably haven't been in a situation like that, but just what do you think about that? Or what would you like for your relationship to be like, or your marriage to be like? What's your ideal? Or how you want your thing to go?
And I love stating my unpopular opinion. So of course, like we just talked about already, I do like 50-50. And I explain why. And it's just me. I think 50-50 keeps it fair. I do feel like I never want to go into something where somebody feel like I'm going to take care of them. And it's fine, like we can have different jobs, different incomes. That is fine. We work at that when we get to that. But we speaking just in general, ideally, I do feel like it just be 50-50 because it keeps it equal and fair to me. I do view as any partnership that I have that we're equal. I just don't go into anything thinking I'm gonna take care of somebody. And I'm gonna elaborate, but I'm gonna definitely let y'all go first. I'm gonna let y'all get into it first. But yeah, that's just me. That's my general. I go for 50-50. So yeah.
Okay. Of course, me. It just depends on who I'm dating. Of course, like if we at the same, what's it called? The income, making the same type of income, then I just feel like 70-30 or something like that. Give me a 60-40 or something like that now.
Okay, so who's 60?
He's 60. Yeah. And then, once we sit down and figure stuff out, like, and depending on the type of lifestyle that we see ourselves living, it may really have to be 50-50. Right. But overall, what I imagine is something maybe 60-40, 70-30. But of course, like I said, once we sit down, go over things, if he's making a big margin more than me, then of course I would expect him to take on majority of the bills or all of them. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not that one like I'm independent. No, take it, please. But yeah, so that's just how I gotta look at it. Like it depends on a lot. So
yeah.
So I heard you say like if you're in a relationship. So is that the same that you would say if you were into a marriage, Ashley?
Yes, because I would think a relationship is leading towards the marriage. So
gotcha. Me. Okay. Yeah. So I would say for me, of course, y'all know I've been married before. I said going forward, I don't want to use my husband as an example for things anymore because it seems like I bash him here. But so we were in a, I don't even think we really split it 50-50. It pretty much was like that. It's just that he handled certain bills of the house. And I do remember having a conversation with him about what I thought was fair. And he was like, well, let's just put all the bills down and let's just see who pays what, to make sure that we were coming up to 50-50. So I would just say, and also too, at that particular time, I was in my 20s, late 20s. And then we had our accounts separate. So for me, going forward, everybody knows, including our podcast listeners, I do desire to be married. I would still want to, remain an independent person, but we would have to have some type of operating joint account so that we can pay those bills together. But I don't want a 50-50. That's going to be a no for me. I want a person to have the ability to handle that entire household, because I want to make sure that we're living in a way where if either one of us did not have a job, we could still maintain. As of right now, I maintain everything in my household. So I just want somebody to come and be able to add to that. Will I still pay bills? Yes, but we'll discuss that. I think I'm leaning more like you, Ashley, where it will be more of like a 60-40, whereas he's responsible for those most important bills. And then I'm doing what you say, the kind of like the luxuries, the groceries, those other things that is essential. So yeah, and he needs to be able to take care. And I don't want anybody to take care of me, because I'm going to always work until it's time for me not to work. And I want to always have my source of income, because I just like buying and doing what I want to do. So of course I'll continue to work, and I don't want nobody to come in and save me, because I don't need saving. But I want him to be prepared, and we will definitely have that conversation beforehand that these bills are yours, and I'm going to support you in everything that we do. Now, if we go out there and we overload ourselves, if we're doing a little too much, then like you said earlier, Ashley, that will come where you probably will have to split it 50-50, because if we go out here and just put too much on our plate, then we got to adjust it, because I'm not going to feel right to still ask him to do 60 when I know I done stressed out, stretched his income to the limit. So we'll definitely be fair.
I think what I'm getting 50-50 from, I'm such a clean cut to the point where it's like, when it comes to, and when I mean 50-50, I don't mean like if we got $100, we both put in 50, not like that. You know what I mean? Like we just 50, you know what I mean? Like we 50-50 on, if this what I'm gonna handle, this what you gonna handle, and we doing it equally. That's just what, we handling our parts, it's 50-50. That's just everything 50-50. And I think I'm just a clean cut to the point of, say if, and it's just me, if I'm in this situation, it's just not where I'm gonna have it where I can come back and say, well, I was doing more than you for this. I don't ever want it to be set up that way. I don't want me to ever have the opportunity to be like, well, I was doing more of this and you wouldn't. I don't ever want either one of us, nobody, to have that over each other. And I think that's where that equal thought comes in. I just want us to keep it just clean cut. And I know some people see that 50-50 as if, I know for the man, it's supposed to take care of, I guess, most of everything. But I will say this. As we do our 50-50, I'm still going to be that man. Still going to handle all those manly things, it just going, in a general sense, it's going to be 50-50. And that's just me.
And that's what you prefer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure you'll have a conversation with your person. So it's nothing wrong with it. It's not a right or wrong way to do it. It's just whatever works for that couple. And it's your what I'm learning, not to talk over you, I'm sorry. What I'm learning is that it's your expectations of what you have of people, is what kind of gets everything out of whack, is when you haven't had those conversations that you need to have. And then you expect for a person to be way up here, paying the majority, but you didn't have a conversation. So they're thinking, oh, we're going to go 50-50. And then they find out, just say a year into the marriage or the relationship that you really don't like doing 50-50 because you thought they was going to come in and pay it all. So it's just to have those conversations and make sure that everybody on the same page.
I'm probably taking a lot of heat in this one. I'm gonna just let Steve Harvey take the heat. So it's funny that we talk. It's funny that we talk about this because, of course, besides Gabrielle Union, Steve Harvey was one of the people that recently talked about the 50-50 thing. Yeah, and so what he was saying was basically that a woman don't necessarily have to bring them to the table. A man is supposed to take care of all of it, and you bring her in, and you don't just take care of. That's basically what he was saying. And I think that's why my stance is the way it is, because I feel like when these celebrities and people in these different statuses speak to people of regular status, I'm gonna say we are regular status. We have different income, different tax bracket. I think people of this tax bracket feel like we need to listen to somebody like Steve Harvey, or somebody who's up there, because we're supposed to take relationship advice from people who are on TV. No, I think like people like him, they're speaking from a different text break and different money. So somebody like
Mhm.
Steve Harvey can pull a woman. Of course, he can pull somebody in to take care of them. Half of the people we see on TV can do that.
Right.
But but the men of the world listening to a man like that saying, take care of women, you gonna drive yourself crazy doing it. You don't have that money. You might have it one day, but just think of you in a regular sense. So if you listen to what Steve Harvey's saying, I guess you're gonna have Steve Harvey money too. And you're gonna have his status too and have his options too, you know.
Mhm.
So I just had to say that because since this 50-50, conversation is so relevant when we thinking about it, and I know a lot of people look for other places for their opinions on it. I think we make sure we talking to people who are like matching up here to us. You know what I mean? Discuss it right here. Not discussing it with people who or hearing it from people who are having different money and who can say that
Mhm.
stuff. And of course, that stuff can happen for them. That stuff can't always happen for us unless we get up there. So yeah, I had to just say that. So be mad at Steve
Yeah,
Harvey, not me.
I agree. I agree though. And I also think like certain topics, especially about how you're spending your money inside the household, who's splitting what, should just be kept between you two. What goes on inside your household should stay in your household. Because once you open that door and letting everyone know, now you're open to people judging you.
Yep.
So
Right.
just if y'all splitting 50-50, that ain't nobody business. Is you
Yep.
splitting it 70-30, that's nobody business. Whatever y'all doing, y'all ain't paying the bills. That ain't nobody business.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I just don't care for these basic conversations. Like it's just weird to me. Like we just have so much more to be worried about than
hmm
um who's splitting the bills.
And I
Like
and I
that's
actually
just
yeah, like you were saying, I think Gabrielle Union, I don't think it was necessarily something where she just said, I'm gonna wake up and talk about
mm-hmm.
this. I think it was just like one of them where since it's so many judgy eyes and people with opinions, you kind of sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
are forced to share this stuff.
Yeah.
And I hate it because, like you say, this is like conversations that's like, yeah, we can discuss what we want, but if we were with somebody, I don't think I necessarily need to come on here and be like, well, we split it 50-50. And I pay
Mm-hmm.
this and they pay this. Because, like you say, that literally brings in the wrong, unwanted opinions. And that's even though we try, like, she is which I mean, I think she, of course, a strong woman, but I think as much as you try to block out what people say, I'm sorry, some stuff is gonna hit you. It just is what it
Yeah.
is, and I think that's why she had to address it. Some stuff hit you, like you say, and now I say like these conversations, like you say, basic conversation stuff, this surface level stuff that happens in relationships definitely should stay in that relationship or in behind those closed
Yeah.
doors.
Like
But yeah,
It kind of went out. I did several interviews because when I looked it up, I saw like several articles
yeah,
where she had been talking about it. So it's not like she just went and did one off. It just seems like once she said something, maybe she started getting all of these requests to talk more about it.
yeah,
But then she just started
yep.
going on. She was on a girl's podcast. She was on this other interview that I saw. She just constantly talking about it. But let me just say this because I want to say this when I heard you say everyday people. Now, I do know that I do have some family members who go by that principle, whereas they take care of everything in the household. My
Mm-hmm.
granddad, my grandfather, he paid all the bills. He worked for the railroad and he took care of everything. He took care of everything until he died. My grandmother really didn't have to work. She worked a little bit here and there, but that was just something that she did. And then even with my own uncle, he pays all his household bills. And his wife, she only pays the luxury things that she may want, like say cable. But when it comes down to his mortgage, them car notes, her car note, he's always taking care of that. And so, and I know even with my parents, my mom didn't work for like the first 7 years of their marriage because he didn't want her to work. He wanted her to, stay at home with his kids and raise them and not have nobody else to watch his kids. So my dad took care of everything for several years into their marriage just because he wanted things to go a certain way. And so when my mom did get a job, it wasn't because she had to. It was more or less like she was just like, look, I didn't I did what you asked me to do, is which get them to school age, and now I want a little money for myself, and I want to do some things that I want to do, and that's how she started working, and then that's how she started to contribute to the household, is because she wanted to work, and once the second income came in, then she started to help him out on things, and that's how they went.
Yeah, and also too, I think we have to look at the age and all that, because back then, of course, like the mom probably could stay at home and the dad pay all the bills, and you can feed kids, what, 3-4 kids off $20, But nowadays it's just different. Like,
You need
me spending $20
Yeah.
is what, lettuce, tomato, and a juice. That's
Mhm.
$20,
Yeah.
So I think even if, let's just say, if I dated someone who's 64, which I'm not, and I know I will not,
Yeah, I don't.
then of course, I would expect them to be at a certain point in their life. You know what I'm saying? So versus someone who is my age or just a little younger, they're growing up in these times now where you have inflation. We done went through how many recessions? So a lot of that plays a part into it too. So
it does.
Yeah.
It does. I know some younger marriages. I got
mhm.
younger marriages in my family that they set up this kind of life, but you have to understand the parents is a little bit older and their value system. It just depends on where they are. But I do know of some young couples where one in particular, he pays all the bills and they're not old. But that's just his choice. But yeah.
Yeah.
That the let me say, and I always hope for all the couples that do that it is a happy one. Let me tell you, I think about it
Mhm.
sometimes, and I had this conversation before. That's a scary thing to kind of get into for, like, as a woman, where you go, like, the man is taking care of everything. I think because he, depending, now
Right.
mind you, I'm talking about a man that's not, just think about a man that's not as good. Since he have all this control and power, I think that for some men that allows them to be able to tell you certain stuff that they expect from you. So they expect
Absolutely.
clothes to be folded, dishes to be
Mhm.
washed, house to be clean, like you say, children to be fed. I mean,
Mhm.
it's got to be spick and span. This is how some men think. That's why I think it is scary for, I guess, some women to go into that. Maybe they don't think about it like that because they're taken care of. They can sleep at night, not having to worry about bills. But it's kind of the independence part that's challenged. So now you have a man who's able to kind of just tell you certain stuff, because you know why he can tell you this, because he can pull the rug from under you, because he's
Right.
got control over all the bills. He got all the money. He is like that. That's the bucket right there. And that's why
Mhm.
now that's what I do. I do understand a woman like going out, like, it's my time to work and stuff like that. And like I said, like
Mhm.
you said, it is an older time thing. So that's why I think it's scary for women.
It is. It
Yeah,
absolutely. I could think of a couple of situations whereas if that man pull out, that woman
that's
cannot
it.
handle that.
Mhm.
And I had a conversation with someone recently about that. Whereas both of them are working, but it's his money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
that's sustaining everything. So to be honest, in case you hit it on, and I didn't even think about it, because even with my 60-40, how I want somebody to go, I still want to make sure that if anything was to happen, God forbid, to your spouse or significant other, I can still maintain this lifestyle. And I think that goes into play when you go and overload yourself because you have that second income instead of, just living in a way. And yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's scary.
Um, I had wanted to touch back on Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, taking care of households is not theirs as well. Because I think I spoke on it before in one of the episodes where, like you said before, Tasha, that we have to have these small conversations at the beginning. Like, who are you taking care of
Mm-hmm.
before I come up in this relationship? That includes child support.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That includes you paying mama light bill, what you doing. And that's why I always said, like, I just prefer, I understand a man helping somebody, that's what men do,
Mhm.
but a point, and not saying that they're enabling people, but I think it can get to a point, and that's scary for me when a man is taking care of other grown people. Now, it's
Mhm.
one thing if someone is sick and this and that, understandable, but someone who can get up and do the same thing you do, or had the same, I ain't gonna say the same opportunity because that is a whole other thing. But
Mhm.
that those little conversations right there are very important. And to me, even child support,
Right.
because that's coming out of my household too, but that's on
Mhm.
me because I cannot date you if you got kids, or
Right.
depending
Yeah.
on how many kids that you have. But
Mhm.
realistically, you have to pay attention to those small little things that are coming out of your household at the beginning. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and that.
Also,
Oh, go ahead.
like if it's a marriage, sometimes they can base that child support on both of those incomes, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do. So that's another thing too. You have to think about. It's like, okay, but we got all this money going out in child support because they're not just looking at his income. They're looking at it. He's married and this is what the child would be benefiting if they was living in this
Mhm.
house. That's extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
why I
I'm pretty
think.
sure he's paying child support for the what is it? I don't want to call it the side baby, but
Babe.
the
Oh, yeah.
what she
Oh, they
said
in
something.
that
Oh, the break baby. The break baby. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
The break baby.
and then the
Mhm.
So
other
I'm pretty sure.
for her. Those other kids, they still like I think school age, aren't they? It's like several. I want to
Mm,
say like I don't really keep up with him like that, but I want to say he got some more kids that I probably getting child support from him because I know one. Um, he's not grown yet, so that's another child support going out the door, and then the little break baby. That's two right there. So yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. That's why I think the 50-50, like I think we simplify it, but I think it's really kind of complex because it's circumstantial. So I think we can't just literally say like it's gonna be like this because literally I think everybody's situation is so different.
mhm,
And I think like with hers, like I feel like you said, like I tell you, like the masculine part of it, I think every women can. Some women might can relate to what she's saying, but I think some women can't because everybody's
mhm.
situation is so different. I think that's what make this 50-50. Like we make it so simple. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just take the 50 days or whatever. It's like literally situational. You really never know who you're gonna run into.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's just me. So do y'all believe in a marriage, this joint account?
Okay. Clarify that. What?
Okay, when I like, because I don't. So when you in a marriage, like you had this joint account, well, I guess I'm assuming this will both people pull from. I know I hear all these marriages they have joint accounts. Well, I guess this is our money we putting together, whatever. But y'all do feel like y'all would have it in y'all marriage. I'm just
So,
asking.
so me going for a person who did not have a joint account before, I'm going to say yes because I think that it should be where we should we should know what those bills are for the month and we should put whatever it is that we have agreed upon into this account to make sure that when those bills get ready to come around that it's there, but always have your own account. I don't want to ever, I don't care how in love I am and how good our relationship and how long we've been together. I still want my own account because I want to be able to purchase whatever it is that I want to within limits. I'm not going to go make a big purchase and not consult my husband, but I don't want to have to check with him just because I want to buy a dress. So
Mhm.
I want my own account where I can swipe and do whatever it is that I want to without having to check in with someone else. Now that joint account, if in our savings account that would be together, yeah, if I'm getting ready to take $500 out of the account and whatever, yeah, I'm going to let him know if I'm getting to take some type of amount. And then I want him to have that same courtesy with me to let me know. He ain't got to necessarily tell me what it is that he's doing, with the thing, but we need to, if it's money that we're both putting in, and we need to have a conversation about that. And
Mm.
also, I thought about this earlier. I want to say this because I did this also too, and it's a little bit off. I don't want my name to be on everything. I want to share that because I've had something where it just so happened to fall that way where the house was in my name first before he even got to like a house of his own. I don't ever want to do that either. I want to make sure that houses and things like that have both names on it. So I'm gonna be joint there because you just want to make sure. I don't care if we have to forbid, have to split it up or whatever, but I want all of that to be shared because that just cut down some confusion on the upkeep. Because I promise you, if something is yours and somebody else's, yeah, you can run into some different views about it. So I want that to be joint.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, I'm gonna say no on it. What's in his account is his. What's in my account is mine.
Right.
I pay whatever I need to pay. He pay his. Now, we want a joint account for vacations or something. Yeah, but other stuff, no. Even just hearing you talking about it, it's just giving me. I'm like, oh, Gabrielle, you giving too much anxiety right now. Like, because I do think of the worst of every situation, like how this can go. So God forbid, if we do get a divorce or something like that, I need this divorce to go as smooth as possible. You already got your money over here, got my money over here, your name on the house, it's your house, I gone. If my name on the house, you gone. That whole little thing. Let's just go on out separated and do what we gotta do. Like, so
right.
That's how I'm looking at it. No, I ain't never been married, but let's just keep it separate. You old enough to know. I mean, I just feel like you jump into a marriage, when it's time to pay the bills and what you need to pay, and same way with me. So I'm just gonna say no to that. No joint account unless it's for vacation. Oh.
And I'm the same, and it's great. Like and I think that's what it is. That's why I think I'm so clean cut on everything. Like, because of the worst that can happen, I think I prep for the worst that can happen. So I really don't want us to share that stuff. I don't know why. I feel like it'll bring more complication. That to me, like, it's like one more thing that I have to think about arguing about or something, or like I gotta discuss. And I think that's why I don't know in my head. Like, that's why I think I'm with this 50-50. I just keep everything so clean cut that once, and if it is done, it's like no like pull and push. Like, it ain't like I did more. I did my part. You did your part. Now both of us gonna go do our part somewhere else. I don't know. Like, that's what it is. I think I'm just really clean cut. That's why I think I don't really. I guess the joint thing. I don't know. But yeah, if I look bad, I look bad. But yeah, I'm just clean cut with everything. Just clean cut.
They coming for your neck.
They gonna come for me. It's okay though. I'm just clean cut. I'm always do for you, and do stuff, of course, extra. But in a general sense, living day by day, just clean cut. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think I just like my freedom. I told you I like my freedom, so I don't right now care for the whole marriage thing. I just prefer to have like a boyfriend. We're in a relationship because I don't. And not saying like you have to go to your husband and be like, "Hey, I'm about to go do this now. Hold on," It's just like, hey, like you said, if it's a big purchase, like, okay, I need a new car. I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, we talk about I need a new car, but once we got that joint account or something like that, it's like I gotta come to you and be like, hey, I'm gonna get $5 out that account. It's like, It's just something about that. Like, I just feel like I'm losing my freedom or something. I don't know. I sound like a slave, don't Whenever I think about freedom, I just think of slaves. Sorry. But I just do. But yeah, that's just just how I see it or whatever. Like,
and I don't know. And I think it's me being the man. I think I try to leave everything so good. I try to leave where I ain't did nothing bad. So that's why I really try to keep everything where I don't necessarily want to have more on nothing than you. I don't want you to say, well, I was taking control of this. I want to be so far away from that. It ain't even the fact of me just being like, if it happened, it happened, whatever. But it's just like, I'm so like, keep your independence with me, please. I'm not taking you under me so you could just like let go of all your, like you say, freedom or whatever. Please keep your independence with me, because that's why I talked to you in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, let's be independent together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we good without each other and we good together. That's what I think it is. I think in that man sense, I guess I'm so worried of being grouped with them other men that just be so controlling and doing these women wrong. And like you say, pull the rug from under their feet and stuff. I don't never want to be in that group. So that's why I say I just literally like, please, you can come and keep your independence. Please. I can't even stand to hear you say we so much. They'd be like, ah.
I'm so weak. But yeah,
Yeah,
I learned the word interdependent from Dr. Shauna. Now, of course, I heard it before, but she says it a lot, especially like when you're in a relationship or want to be in a relationship. Like you have to learn how to be interdependent. It's like, yes, you're independent, but I'm also leaning on someone else or need someone else's help.
Right.
So instead of me saying I'm independent in a relationship, I'm just gonna say I'm interdependent. So shout out to Dr. Shauna.
There you go. Interdependent.
I think for me, as I'm saying, like ideal how I want something to go, I still have to be realistic with myself and understand that for years now, since I have been divorced, I've been pretty much making my own decision, doing my own thing. So when that time does come, I'm quite sure I'm gonna have a little hesitance because I haven't been doing it. So in my little or my head, this is what I'm thinking, but that doesn't mean that as things are going, I'm gonna be so happy to, like you say, give up some certain things, because I'm gonna be probably feeling the same way, like how y'all kind of think about it. Like, I don't want to get independence because if I want to go buy a new car next year, I don't want to be really checking with him. But then I have to understand if this is something that I want to do, that I'm gonna have to make some adjustments in that area, because that just comes. So I just think it's just like a state of how the relationship is going versus how the relationship be. So that makes a difference too.
I don't know.
Well, let me say this to y'all. So today I attended a funeral today of my cousin, and he had been married 67 years. And they met when they were in the second grade, and they went to Tuskegee together. They raised their kids together. And I don't know how they finances went or whatever, but just before he got ready to die, he told everybody where the money was. He showed them, all the land that he had. I mean, he pretty much just told everybody and gave away his car. He did all his little things. And you got to know that 67 years y'all being married, they didn't have to just not be selfish, or not feel like how we were saying, like losing control or of all of that. Because anytime you stay together that long, you're going to have some challenges and some things that you have to work through. And I think that's what is lacking at in these today's relationships and stuff like that. Ain't nobody try to stay together that long. So, they'd be like, we already be having that mindset like, okay, well, if this don't work out, I'm out. And you're ready to go. So when I got there to view the body, I knew they had been married for a long time, but I didn't know exactly how many years. And so I was just like, wow. Because, again, my parents, they married a long time too. They on 54, headed to 55. But that just meant a lot to me to see that.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Oh, and one more thing. Sorry, since I'm talking about my kids, let me get this out the way. So y'all a little known Black history fact. So, and this was on his obituary, which I knew that he was a faculty at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which is UAB. He used to be a professor there for years, and everybody talked about how hard his class was. But what I didn't know is that he was the first Black professor to teach at University of Alabama, Birmingham, and his name is Dr. Ernest Porterfield. And I just want to say rest in peace to him today. But yeah, give y'all a little known Black fact right in my family. So anyway.
Oh, that is cool.
That was nice.
I was going to say something, about the marriage part. So of course, I have not been married. Barely been in a relationship.
Me either.
But I say this, I think, as we talk about these different things, I think it's always kind of your expectation versus what it kind of accept. So we go into stuff with expectations of like
Me up
uh,
here.
yeah, I'm about to say just kind of go into it like, okay, we want this, we want this, we want this. You know, like if you ain't hitting this, it probably ain't gonna work. And then you kind of
Mm-hmm.
settle. I think you when you end up finding that one, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it shows what you accept. So even though we do have these like I say the 50-50 and like you say, what you say, 70-30, 60-40, and you like you say like that too. I think it's kind of like we say this, but then when you kind of get into it with certain people or when you realize somebody's worth it, it's kind of comes to the point of like, okay, what we accept. What are we going to accept now?
Mm-hmm.
We had expectations, but now what are we accepting?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Good point.
it might not be the ideal. It might not have been what we went into it with, but it's kind of like, what are we accepting now? I think we all literally just get to the point of accepting when you really like somebody or when you really see a future with somebody. Especially when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to marriage, I feel like when you have decided you're gonna get married, trust me, you pretty much accepted everything that your expectations did not give you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just accepted it. Like I'm not gonna get this, but this person is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do always think it's expectations versus what we have accepted. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what, like you said, they was married for that long. It's because I'm pretty sure both sides, even if they came into it, it could have been in the beginning they had like issues or problem, whatever. They both
They
accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they just accepted it. Like I'm accepting this person. We finna be together. I'm accepting this. Even though it could have been where he, like I know he didn't, but if he did say 50-50, even and you see how together they was together a long time, she would accept it. They just accepted it. So I do think it's always expectations versus what we accept. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah.
I agree, and I'm always stand on. I think most people who stay married a long time keep people out their business.
Mm-hmm. That
Most people I
that's true.
know stop
Mm-hmm.
telling everybody your business. Stop telling everybody what's going on. Of course, you have these sidebar conversations with your girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, but yeah, it just
Yeah.
I'm just learning and seeing this. I like just keeping everything in private, all
Mm-hmm.
it. So I'm gonna
you
go
have
with that too. What you said,
like
and just everybody's
Yeah.
not gonna agree with everything you do. So why would I tell you?
Yeah.
right.
And I think the private end is always the better end.
Do agree with you as well, Kente, about the expectation too. I think a lot of women we do tend to put a lot of expectations on men, and once we don't get those expectations, we're very scorned, hurt, ready to box them out, And I think with men, sometimes they really do, when they like you, they really like you. And when they're hurt, that's why they're so hurt because it's like they
Yeah.
really liked you.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to relate that to that, but yeah,
And
there.
when yeah, I mean that's true. I think that's a lot of things we don't think about. And I guess speaking from the man side, do I have expectations? I don't even think I had expectations going into it. I think I just generally got to have a liking for you. I think, and
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because I think a lot of expectations come in the midst of the relationship, right? Where you kind of in it and you like, dang, I expected this. Like, well, I get some stuff that you like. You be like, dang, I expected you to do this, or I expected
Mm-hmm.
this to be kind of fun, or I don't know. And then that's when you get back to the accepting part. Like, you either just don't want to be doing this no more, or and that's probably why, like, it's like Miss Hudson, like when people don't be together a long time because like we get into the relationship, whatever, right? You like them, you like this general thought of them, like you like them enough, they're attractive enough, you like them
Mm-hmm.
enough, or whatever. Then you get into it, and then it's kind of like, this ain't as fun as I thought it was gonna be, or
Uh-huh.
you ain't doing everything I thought you was gonna be doing, or
You
you
actually
ain't,
seeing them for
yeah,
who they
like,
are because the
yeah,
Right.
expectation like is not there. Once they don't do it, it's like, wait, they're really their person? Like,
yeah, yeah,
I yeah.
yeah,
You
and
just
that's
start to see the real them.
yeah, and that's
Right.
why I say you either accept it or you probably gonna end up leaving. And I think that's why a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in relationships don't last no more because it's like once you see that your expectations or whatever you was expecting them to be, once it's not there, a lot of people don't grow to love people no more. So it's kind of like if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't what I'm wanting you to be right now, I'm kind of gonna try
Right.
to find it in somebody else, and people just quick to do it like that. some people, and I think,
Yeah.
and maybe back then, or some you do have some good people out there where they just grow to love people. Like even
Right.
if, like you can look at them for a couple of days and it's kind of like, oh, this ain't what I'm really used to, but I'm gonna grow to love them, or I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to like get to know them a little more. I'm gonna go on a couple more dates. This one didn't go good, but I'm gonna give them some more chances. Man, some people will literally
Mhm.
go on a date with you and you do not meet the expectation. They be like, well, this was fun.
Okay.
And then they ain't gonna text you back. They ain't gonna text you back no more. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's why we have a lot of short relationships. Once their expectation ain't there, they run for the hills. That's it. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of up to you to either accept or work on it, or learn to grow. I
Mhm.
mean, learn to love somebody, or just literally just go. So for me this week, I think my last remark
Okay.
would be,
Got it.
if you have certain ways you want a relationship to be, or if you feel like it just don't match up to other people's opinions, kind of don't feel bad about it, because like you said, this is going to be your relationship. This is not going to be the public's relationship. If you have those expectation standards, it probably sound crazy to other people. If that's what you want, go for it. I mean, just like you say, you can't worry about if other people are happy about it. You kind of just got to worry about if you're going to be happy about it, because at the end of the day, this is your relationship. You're going to be with this person. You're going to be sleeping with this person. You're going to have to be with this person 24/7, not them. So that's why I say, don't let nobody make you feel bad about having expectations or certain stuff you want in a relationship. Everybody is different. That's why I say I don't necessarily understand people just, oh yeah, Steve Harvey said this, so let's do this. No, that is his
Mhm.
relationship, and you're gonna have your own. It's not gonna be like his. You're not him. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's your relationship. It don't matter what people say. Your expectations, whatever you want is what you want, and that's it.
I'll end it with, again, keep a relationship private. Do the bills how you want to do it, and don't let nobody know. I'm telling you.
You're dealing with anybody, just to make sure that you have the right expectations. I think it's just a conversation, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, or whatever. You just have to have conversations and try not to be so quick to just dismiss people, without having a conversation about things. So that's what I'm learning, and that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys.
Well, okay. Thank you for watching our 50/50 episode. um, but yeah, thank you for real for tuning
Stay
in to episode 19.
tuned. Stay tuned. Stay
All right,
tuned.
stay tuned.
Subscribe,
There you go.
guys.
Subscribe. And next week will be episode 20, and it's going to be a good one.
Ooh.
Right. Okay, so see y'all next time.